We had our first oil contact in the state of Mississippi and Mississippi Sound and some islands to the west. Louisiana has been impacted, and now the threat is shifting to Mississippi and Alabama.
It's Admiral Thad Allen heading up the government's response to the BP oil disaster, explaining today what winds from the south and the west bring now. They bring this: oil on barrier islands in Alabama and in Mississippi. They also bring reports of an oil slick visible in the water 9 miles off the coast of Florida, and preparations to try to keep that oil from coming ashore in places like Pensacola. That's all in addition to the 125 miles of Louisiana coastline that's been hit by oil thus far. Some of that Louisiana coastline is beach, sandy beach, like we will see tomorrow when we're down in Jefferson Parish, continuing our coverage from the region. But most of what's been hit by oil isn't beach. Most of it looks like this, land like this. And land like this is life or death, not only for the wildlife that lives there, and boy, howdy, do they have some wildlife, but land like this is life or death in a much bigger way. It means life or death for all the other land that's not like this around here. Here's what I mean. When there's a hurricane coming onto shore from the sea, the storm pushes water ahead of it onto the shore. It's the storm surge. The storm surge is like a high tide from hell. It can be incredibly destructive. When Hurricane Katrina hit this region 5 years ago, here's what a 20-foot storm surge did to Chalmette, Louisiana. Look at that. Now, to get a sense of the contrast, here's what a smaller 15-foot storm surge did to Slidell, Louisiana. Still bad, not the same. What makes the difference between these two outcomes? In large part, wetlands, freaking wetlands. They say that every 2.7 square miles of wetlands that a storm passes over brings the storm surge for communities behind those wetlands down by 1 foot. So the difference, the mathematical difference between a 20-foot storm surge and a 15-foot storm surge, between destruction and biblical destruction, turns out it's pretty easy, pretty horrifying math. If every 2.7 square miles of wetlands saves you from another foot of storm surge, then the difference between ending up like Chalmette and ending up like Slidell is roughly 13.5 square miles of wetlands as protection. And even before this oil disaster, Louisiana was losing 25 square miles of wetlands every year. Get this. During the time of this broadcast, this TV show airing tonight, an area of wetlands the size of 2 football fields will be lost into the sea and will be turned into open water. And every 2.7 square miles of lost wetlands puts the storm surge that hits the land where I am sitting right now up 1 more foot when the storms inevitably come. This is not some hippie crusade to save the cute baby gators. This is the survival of a piece of our country. A big piece, it turns out, a big important piece. We have been losing this life preserver of land at such a clip because of oil and gas drilling, because of shipping being prioritized, because of stupid development decisions. That was all true before the BP oil disaster. Do you want to know what the BP oil disaster is going to do to the wetlands? And the flashing neon that's going to put on the bullseye that's already on this city? Coming up next, you, me, and a whole lot of cute baby alligators. We'll find out.